Welcome to Simple Mind Space, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating world of human behavior, exploring the intricate workings of our minds and the social forces that shape us. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that has captivated sociologists, psychologists, and cultural commentators for decades: the midlife crisis. Now, you might be thinking, a midlife crisis? Isn't that just a cliche, a punchline for stand-up comedians and sitcom writers? And yes, it's true that the midlife crisis has become something of a cultural trope, often depicted with images of men trading in their sensible sedans for flashy sports cars or engaging in questionable fashion choices in a desperate attempt to recapture their youth. But behind the caricatures and the comedic exaggerations lies a genuine phenomenon, a period of transition and upheaval that many individuals experience as they navigate the often turbulent waters of middle age. But is it merely an individual struggle, a personal battle against the relentless march of time, or is there something more at play? To truly understand the midlife crisis, we need to shift our perspective, to zoom out from the individual and examine the broader social and cultural forces that contribute to its emergence. Because, you see, the midlife crisis isn't solely a product of our biology or some innate psychological predisposition. It's also, and perhaps more importantly, a reflection of the social, cultural, and economic realities of the time. To illustrate this point, let's take a trip back in time to the late 1970s, to the world of a beloved British sitcom called The Fall and Rise of Reggie Perrin. Our protagonist, Reggie, is a 46-year-old man living a seemingly comfortable life in the London suburbs. He has a wife, Elizabeth, 2 children, and a steady job as a middle manager. On the surface, Reggie has it all: a nice home, a stable family, a respectable career. But beneath this veneer of normalcy, Reggie is deeply unhappy. He feels trapped in the monotony of his daily routine, disillusioned with his work, and increasingly distant from his family. Reggie, you see, is experiencing what we now call a midlife crisis. He's reached a point in his life where he's grappling with the realization that he hasn't achieved his dreams, that life hasn't quite lived up to his expectations. In a desperate attempt to break free from his discontent, Reggie embarks on a series of increasingly erratic behaviors. He sends out bizarre memos to his colleagues, contemplates an affair with his secretary, and becomes increasingly irritable and withdrawn from his family. It all culminates in a dramatic act of self-liberation. Reggie fakes his own death, shedding his old identity in the hope of starting anew. Now, Reggie's story, though fictional, captures the essence of the midlife crisis. This sense of disillusionment, this feeling of being stuck, this desperate yearning for change, these are all common themes that resonate with individuals experiencing this particular life transition. The term midlife crisis itself was coined in the mid-20th century, and its emergence coincided with significant social and demographic shifts. Life expectancy was increasing, which meant people were living longer and experiencing longer periods of adulthood. At the same time, a standardized life course emerged, a kind of social script that dictated the right time to get married, have children, establish a career, and eventually retire. This standardization created certain expectations, certain milestones that individuals felt pressured to achieve by a certain age. And as Reggie's story illustrates, when individuals felt they hadn't met these societal expectations, when they compared their lives to the standardized script and found them wanting, a sense of dissatisfaction, of inadequacy, could set in, contributing to a midlife crisis. The rise of consumerism in the post-war era further fueled the midlife crisis. With increased affluence and the proliferation of mass media, people were bombarded with images of a life filled with material possessions and instant gratification. The pursuit of happiness became intertwined with the acquisition of goods and experiences, creating a sense that fulfillment could be found in the next purchase, the next vacation, the next adventure. This consumerist mindset, combined with the pressures of the standardized life course, created a fertile ground for the midlife crisis to take root. Now, you might be wondering, if the midlife crisis is so shaped by social and cultural forces, what were the messages, the beliefs that contributed to its emergence? Well, there's one phrase that perfectly encapsulates the paradoxical nature of the midlife crisis: life begins at 40. Now, on the surface, this phrase sounds positive. even empowering. It suggests that middle age isn't an ending, but rather a beginning, a time for reinvention and new beginnings. And indeed, for many individuals, midlife can be a time of great personal growth and transformation. However, the phrase "life begins at 40" also carries with it a subtle but powerful message that life before 40 is somehow less meaningful, less fulfilling. This message can create a sense of urgency, a feeling that if you haven't achieved certain things by a certain age, you've somehow missed the boat. And in the context of a culture obsessed with youth and novelty, this message can be particularly potent, leading individuals to question their choices, their achievements, and even their identities as they enter middle age. It's this tension, this push and pull between societal expectations and individual aspirations that lies at the heart of the midlife crisis. So, what can we learn from Reggie Perrin and his midlife meltdown? What wisdom can we glean from this cultural phenomenon that continues to fascinate and perplex us? Firstly, it's crucial to recognize that the midlife crisis, though often portrayed as a sudden and dramatic event, is more accurately understood as a process, a transition that unfolds over time. It's a period of introspection, of questioning, of reevaluating one's priorities and values. Secondly, and perhaps most importantly, the midlife crisis highlights the powerful influence of social and cultural forces on our lives. It reminds us that our experiences, even those that feel deeply personal, are shaped by the world around us, by the beliefs, values, and expectations of the time and place we inhabit. The midlife crisis, then, invites us to critically examine those societal scripts, those cultural narratives that shape our understanding of aging and success. It encourages us to challenge the notion that happiness can be found in a one-size-fits-all approach to life, that there's a single, prescribed path to fulfillment. And finally, the midlife crisis reminds us that change is an inevitable part of life. It's a time for reflection, for reassessment, and for making conscious choices that align with our evolving values and aspirations. It's an opportunity to rewrite our own narratives, to redefine what success and fulfillment mean to us, and to embrace the possibilities that lie ahead. So as we navigate the complexities of our own lives, let us remember Reggie Perrin and the lessons of the midlife crisis. Let us embrace change, challenge societal expectations, and forge our own unique paths to a fulfilling and meaningful life. If you enjoyed today's exploration of the midlife crisis, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Simple Mind Space for more insightful conversations about the human experience. Until next time, keep those minds curious and those hearts open.